Thank you for the kind words, the Platinum Shield Wrench, who says, I hope you find those missing guys. Well, there is an update on that. They were able to find Alejandro Kirk, who, he's injured. They were not able to find Addison Barger, but they did find the remnants of a Head & Shoulders and a Pantene Pro V bottle. So they do believe they're on the right track to finding Addison Barger there. So I'll keep you posted as this develops, but that's the update that we have for right now. And I do apologize. I am tending to messages every now and then, so if I get a little distracted, it's because I'm not great at multitasking. So I'm just going to take a quick look at this thing, and then we're going to jump right into what happened today for the Blue Jays, which the only good news I will say is that Sage broke some news early in the day, so we'll get to that very shortly. So let me read here. I don't really know what to say to that. Okay, so yeah, let's just jump into what the Jays did today first. It's not good. It's not positive. It's absolutely atrocious. The Blue Jays lost today for the 6th time in a row. That 6-game losing streak is larger than any losing streak that they had last year. So again, it's not time to push the panic button, but it's getting fucking close. It's you can't win a division in April, but you sure as fuck can lose one. So let's hope that that's not the case here. Although I remember, the Los Angeles Angels in 2001, they had a terrible start. I think they started 8-14, went on to win the World Series against Barry Bonds and the San Francisco, not the 49ers, the Giants. Now here's a few problems. So A, 6 losses in a row, that's a problem, something they didn't do last year. B, their offense has been terrible. During that 6-game losing streak, they have scored 11 runs. So that's under 2 runs per game. You're not going to win with that, even if your pitching is great. Pitching wasn't really a huge problem today, but we have seen the pitchers show some warts in previous games there. Just going to take a look at the box score. So Gausman didn't have his best game today, 3 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings, but that's not really enough to lose a game. That keeps you right in the dogfight. Jeff Hoffman, who has looked pretty good so far this season, I think he struck out like half of the batters that he's faced. Did let an earned run tonight. Did have 2 strikeouts as well, so not terrible. And was it actually an earned run? I thought that the catcher, Brendan Valloway, or whatever, threw the ball away into right field. Could be wrong. No, I think that should probably be an error. To me, it was an error, because Vlad fucked up too. Yeah, we're kind of noticing more warts on defense this year too. So, it's really just a fucking goddamn shit show for us right now. It's absolutely atrocious in all facets of the game. Defense, pitching, the whole thing. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to tend to a last message for the night. 1 second. Alright, now I can give you my complete attention once I close out this here. Fucking people just, fucking lingerers, man. Fucking lingerers just bugging me all the fucking time. It's just like, back off, biatch, Alright, where was I? So, I don't know, Jay's box score, what was good about the box score? I guess Jimenez was 2 for fucking 4. You got, a hit from Rennie Clement, a hit from Okamoto, who's been actually staying relatively consistent. Jesus Sanchez had a hit. I do like kind of putting Jesus Sanchez in the spot that they put him. They've been batting him, well, at least tonight they put him in the 4-hole as the cleanup hitter. I do like putting him there. I think it balances the lineup a bit with, Springer leading off, that sort of thing, and I don't think he's good enough to be like a 2-hitter. But still, I don't really know what to say. Just looking at this, and all I see is crap. It looked like Varland took a shot off a comeback or that sort of thing, but he's not injured. Seems all right. I mean, our relievers weren't bad tonight, really, and neither was our starter. I can't really put this on the pitch, and the offense is going to have to get it together. My concern with the Blue Jays is basically that there's guys that performed last year that are not going to perform like they did last year. So first off, Nathan Lucas, I mean, you can kind of look at him and he potentially say he's a fraud. He's 31 years old, probably turned 32. Yeah, you could definitely say he's probably not going to replicate what he did last year in a platoon role. Ernie Clement, okay, good little guy to mash up on lefties, so I still like him as a platoon player. Love his defense. But do I like him as an everyday player? Not really. Like, I don't think he offers... I know all these people like these grinder players. Like, they used to love fucking Ryan Goins back in, like, 2015, 2016. But these guys, like, they're not great starters. Let's just put it that way. And then you get fucking, Andres Jimenez. Let's see. Last year, he was definitely banged up, so I do expect him to be better. And he has been so far. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel like that Cleveland announcer right now, who started his promo by saying, we stink. And then he's talking about, it feels like I'm hitting the ball from a swivel chair. That's how I feel right now on offense with the Blue Jays. I feel like, Zal, give me his name. What was that guy's name? While you look up his name, I'm going to read the comments. So, the Platinum Shield Ranch says, tell them to take a hike. Nameless, of course, a Yankees fan. Also, just kind of a fucking idiot. Says, the Blue Jays. And he also says, Nathan Lucas. More like Nathan Look-ass. Okay. I don't think that's appropriate to be saying in here. And since you said that, you got to make sure you hit a like and maybe create a Twitter account with robots and share this fucking message across the world. Nameless, since you have not been here in a little while, I have discovered Gemini, and I believe the best part of the streams are basically creating the images that I get to send to you guys. Beautiful. The primary announcers for the Cleveland Guardians, its Indians, Tom Hamilton and Jim Rosenhaus, who provide engaging commentary for, Matt Underworld. No, it was okay. I'll find it right now. Like, send a boy to do a man's job. Just give me a fucking second. I might even fucking play the goddamn fucking thing. Fuck it. Indians broadcaster. This is from like 20 years ago or more. For all we know, this guy could be dead. It was fucking Cleveland. Oh, that's fucking Gemini. Yeah. Fuck. That's what I should have did to begin with. Why rely on someone when I've got this fucking, this little robot thing? What announcer said we stink for Cleveland Indians? He also mentions swivel chair. You guys haven't seen this? Do you guys live under a fucking rock? I think it's the Mark one. Mark seems to be one that resonates with me a little bit. I might just play it so you guys can hear it. It sounds like you need a class in prompt engineering. Well, shut the hell up, respectfully. It was not Mark DeRosa. It's not one of those pussy-ass announcers. It's one guy you've never seen before. And he looked like an asshole, and he was amazing. One of my favorite things I've ever seen in sports. It's Bruce Drennan. I think it's Bruce Drennan. You know what? Let's just type in Bruce Drennan. I don't know. Let's just listen to Bruce. This is not the one.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chuck. First off, Bruce, congratulations. You have been practicing with your partner Cheryl Burke for next season.
That's not it. The real one is right here.
We stink, man.
We stink.
Carmona, he wasn't great. But he certainly pitched well enough to win.
This is this guy. This guy's good. Can you guys hear him?
Valbuena.
Valbuena.
You know what? Give him back to the Mets.
Give him back to the Mets.
Somebody said he should be in Columbus tonight. I said, send him to Mahoning Valley. They haven't even started their season.
Yet. Oh. Please tell me you guys can hear that okay.
Painful. Brandon.
Russell Brandon.
Here it is. Stroke.
Beautiful form.
If it's a practice swing on the first tee.
If it's the practice shot on the first tee. Pretend to move ballerina.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God, this guy. Oh.
And Peralta.
Oh my God.
Oh, I am in such pain. Pain, I say. I have a pain in my side, on this side. I got a pain on my side, on this side. My knee
I really hope
hurts.
that you guys are hearing this right now.
My elbow hurts like LeBron. Most of all, my
elbow hurts like LeBron.
He's hurt. I'm hurting all over my body. Head to toe. Oh, God. We stink. And I'll tell you something else. The starting pitching has been pretty good. Good. Just think if they go south. With this big red machine of the mid-70s lineup that we've got. Just think if that rotation goes south, which has been pretty good, including the... Just think of that. Oh. Peralta. I'll give him credit. He made 2 outstanding defensive plays, which I was in awe.
Oh my God, the backhanded compliments.
The dugout there by the stands was truly a tremendous play. If you would have said to me, is he capable of making that play? I would have obviously said no. All bets are off here. But what odds would I give you that he would make that play? I mean, you're getting the point. I mean, give credit where it's due. He made that play. He made that line drive. He made that great play on that line drive too. But 0 for 5 for Peralta, including at the end of the game when we actually had a shot in the bottom of the 9th inning to tie it up after the disaster in the top of the 9th. Unbelievable. Peralta, 216 after, even though we got a homer, it's about time. 212. Sizemore, 220. Brandon. 212. Laporta. Oh
my God.
The play by Laporta. And
Laporta used to be a top prospect.
Chuck, he was the official scorer today. I've known Chuck for decades.
This guy needs to come to the Thundercloud.
Good baseball man.
Me and my co-host.
Official score. A writer.
Yeah, because I think Matt Laporta was drafted in 05 or 06.
Years, good baseball man.
I think it was 2008.
I'm all choked up there.
It's either or, though. You're right.
He was wrong on that play. That can't be a triple. It can't be a triple. That's an error on Laporta. I don't care what anybody says. It's an error.
He wants his team to be called for errors.
Like this. He's like in my swivel chair.
Right now.
God, did anybody remind these players, who are making millions of dollars? Even the kids are making $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. That's a lot of money. That's even more than Gene makes. Did anybody remind them that this is the major leagues? Did anybody remind that this is the major?
I that was just a regular season loss in May. I think it was May 10th. Actually, I can get that back up and just see when that was. I think it was May 10th or something like that. Let's just see. It might have been 20. It wasn't 2010, was it? No, that's just might be when it was uploaded. Yeah, because 2010 seems a bit late. I remember this when I was like, oh man, I don't think it would be around there. Let's just check Matt Laporta's stat. This was a former first-round draft pick. I do remember following this draft, actually. Well, actually, maybe it is 2010. It might be 2010, because Laporta played from 2009 to 2012. He had a negative WAR every year except his first year. So it probably was 2010 with the 668 OPS. Yeah, I remember I remember that trade for CC Sabathia. But yeah, that to me is like one of the funniest things I've ever fucking seen in my life. Let me just see Russell Branyan. Yeah, so it probably was 2010 then. Because, yeah, Russell Branyan was on the team. Yeah, he was on the team in 2010 for Cleveland. And he was all over the place. All over the place. Let me read the comments here, get brought back up to speed. Funnier than the day you found out Reese McGuire got ejected. Well, it to me, it's more funny. But Reese McGuire was a catcher I really liked. And ever since I kind of found out what he did in the parking lot, arresting, dirty deeds done dirt cheap, I just don't look at him the same way anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I was glad we just got rid of him for barely anything, to be honest with you, because, there could have been children outside that car. All right. Let's go. Let's move off the Jays. The Jays play tomorrow, and the matchup will be Dylan Cease against Shohei Ohtani. They will kick off at some point. It's 3:07 Eastern, so I won't get to watch any of that game, most likely, as I will be, conducting meetings and shit of that nature. But yeah, definitely need Dylan Cease to kind of go back to what he was in Game 1 and just get the 5-7. Let's just get this to 5-7. I'm not asking. I'm asking to lose our third straight series in a row. That's all I'm asking for. And if we can't do that, 4-8 is not the end of the world, but it could get ugly fast. If you fall 10 games below 500, that's kind of what I'm worried about right now. The Jays have no great identity right now. Their pitching, wasn't bad tonight. You can understand why their pitching has been bad some games. Everyone's fucking injured. And on that note of pitching, it looks like Corbin, what's his name? Patrick Corbin is going to come up on Friday to pitch for the Jays. So, it's not really a big thing or anything, but he is coming up on Friday, so hopefully he can be effective. We did have to DFA lefty Josh Fleming. The other bad news is, injury-wise, Cody Pounce did have to undergo surgery. He's gone for 6 months, which means effectively his season is over. Alejandro Kirk's timeline has been revealed. It looks like he's going to miss 6 weeks. Addison Barger was also put on the disabled list today. He's going to miss, at least 10 days. So every day we're really breaking down the injuries. It feels like that's all we do, talking about the Jays, is kind of break down the injuries. Now, we recently picked up Tyler Fitzgerald from the Giants. I do not think I went over this guy. Apparently he had one good year for the San Francisco 49ers, Giants, sorry. And then he's been crap ever since. So I think this guy's a lefty masher from what I've read. In 2024, he actually had a 2.7 WAR and 831 OPS. He plays, looks like second, short, and center. I mean, I like the platoon idea. He's got a 739 career OPS. We didn't really have to trade much to get him. Let's just kind of see what he does against left-handed pitching. If Baseball Reference pisses me off sometimes. Not gonna lie. ESPN has a much better, I guess you would call it UI or something like that. All right, so in 2025, only had a 655 OPS against lefties. 2024 had a 932 OPS, and in 2023 had 1,000 OPS. So definitely going to provide some value. He's definitely not going to turn our team around or anything, but I do like the idea of platoon players, and I think this is a good little bargain that the Jays got. So we'll bring some good news. So I mean, I'm not saying Tyler Fitzgerald's good news, but it looks like Trey Savage could be back shortly. So that's obviously good to hear. Max Scherzer says he feels pretty good. So, the little forearm scare shouldn't be terrible. He's slated to pitch his next game, actually. So that's not bad there. And the Blue Jays did make a very interesting signing today. It was first reported worldwide by the Platinum Shield Wrench that they have signed, and I'm going to ace the name, of course, Tomoya Kinjo. So this guy can hit up to 97, 98, has a 4-pitch combo. He's 23 years old, from Japan. A lot of upside here. I do not know the details of what he was paid. Basically, what people are viewing him as, obviously a low-risk, high-reward guy. So it kind of adds to our prospect pool there. So definitely liking this. It's not going to help us this year, of course, but it just looks like the deal is pending a physical. So I'd say a good move for the Jays, but god damn it. It's kind of hard to see through the fog right now. And for you fantasy players out there, we do have some big news today. Whoever owns Cade Horton should just drop him. He's undergoing season-ending elbow surgery. That is bad news for the Bears. Sorry, for the Cubs. So bad news, Cubs. 24-year-old top pitching prospect is done for the season. As well, Hunter Brown has a grade 2 shoulder strain and will be shut down from throwing for a few weeks. So this is a huge setback for, obviously, the Houston Astros and obviously anyone who owns Hunter Brown, who had a terrific season last year. I think he finished second or third in Cy Young voting there. All right, before we turn our attention to the NFL, I'm going to take a look at what the dipshits are saying in the chat here. So just give me one moment to get up to speed. Okay. All right, all over your place. I didn't read that one. The Platinum Shield Wrench says the Jays are going to get swept. Well, to that I say, go fuck yourself. Nameless goes on to mention about Patrick Corbin that's World Series winner Pat Corbin to you. Good point. Did win with Texas, I believe. The Platinum Shield Wrench says, Cade was extremely disappointed to not come back for me. My poor Hunter. You have both Cade Horton and Hunter Brown? Is that incorrect? Was it the Nationals? Oh, Nationals in what, 2019, 2020, whatever it was? I actually had a dream last night, and it was really weird. It was about, like Juan Soto, and how he was like, I don't know, he was going to like opt out of his contract after 2 years, and I was down with him, as well as I think it might have been Ken Rosenthal. I'm really not sure. And, I was trying to get the information from Ken Rosenthal. At the same time, I was trying to woo over Juan Soto. I do not know how the dream ended, but I do know that I did make my best pitch to land, Juan Soto to the Jays. And I am not joking. That is a real dream that I did have. Seixas, I don't have Cade. Last year I did. You believed in him real good. You believed in him so good that you didn't bring him back for the second year in a row. That's how much you believed in him. Let's take a look at NFL news. This will actually, Nameless is going to love this. This is just a little bit of an update on Dexter Lawrence, who has demanded a trade, basically. Looks like he's looking for $30 million annually. $30 million for a guy who had a half sack in 17 games. Unbelievable. They believe that he could command a first-round pick in a trade if one happens. One team to look out for is the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers don't have any first-rounders to play with, so if you're looking for straight draft capital, it's not going to happen. Now, if you're looking for a mixture, a blend of draft capital and players that can help you right away, there's some interesting things going on. So the Packers have 2 free agents this year, or after the season, that are wide receivers. Well, actually 3. So you got, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Dontavian Wicks. Now, priority-wise, I believe the Packers are going to prioritize Christian Watson, even though he's got a bit of an injury-plagued history. Jaden Reed, I'd probably be prioritizing him if I was the GM, but it doesn't matter. But Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, you can't keep all 3 of these guys. You can't pay all these wide receivers. Like, Dontavian Wicks is probably going to make $12 or $13 million a year next year. I don't really think that Dontavian Wicks would move the needle in a Dexter Lawrence trade. I do think Jaden Reed would make sense. Christian Watson, I don't think would be available in this trade. I think if the Giants are looking for a wide receiver and draft capital, the Packers make sense. I don't know if it would be a second and Jaden Reed, or, Jaden Reed and 2/3. Next year's draft class is a lot better than this year's, and we've got a ton of picks there. I don't know if it would have to be a deal in which we include defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt to kind of offset the loss of Dexter Lawrence, while also pairing Jaden Reed, wide receiver, and a draft pick. But my opinion is basically they're just going to sign him back. I think Dexter Lawrence will be back with the Giants, but I think that the Packers are an interesting destination. I really wish we could have got Devondre Sweat, but obviously that wouldn't have worked out. Dexter Lawrence, there's no team needier for a nose tackle that weighs 340 pounds than the Packers. The Packers' front 7 right now is very good, with the exception of their nose tackle. They do not have a true nose tackle. And the nose tackles that they have that fit the weight are not skilled. No offense, Nazir Stackhouse, if you're listening to this, Jonathan Ford, if you're listening to this, no offense to you guys, but you're an absolute dumpster fire. Okay? So let's get that through your fucking head. So, yeah, just wanted to give an update on that. There really is no other major NFL news to go over. I'm not going over kickers getting signed, because kickers aren't even a real position, if you ask me. We do need to... Ooh, ha! Go figure. Jacob deGrom is injured again, waiting on the results of an MRI that he just took. Every fucking year with Jacob deGrom. Maybe the best pitcher we've had since 2013, 2014 is Jacob deGrom when he plays, which is fucking never. All right, before we move forward, it's coming down to the nitty-gritty for the Chicago Bears. A decision on the location of their new stadium is expected to take place in the next couple of weeks. So I'm just going to read this verbatim so I don't fuck it up. If Illinois doesn't pass legislation for Arlington Heights soon, sources believe that the Bears are likely to be Indiana-bound. It actually does seem at this point that the Bears are going to be not playing in Chicago. They are going to be playing in Indiana. I mean, if I was a Chicago fan, I'd be super pissed. I mean, it would be kind of bullshit to have your team play in another city. But at the end of the day, they're not going to rebrand it to the Indiana Bears, I don't think. If they did, that would be super dumb. If that happened, I would actually be pissed as a Packers fan. So before we get to the Pete Rose Bowl cut, we're going to catch up on the comments, of course. Someone stole Cade Horton from Sage. 30 million bones. 30 million bones seems like an awful lot of money for a nose tackle, in my opinion. I mean, if he was coming off the 9 sacks in 12 games, yeah, fuck it. Here's 35 million, But he's coming off a year where he only had half a sack in 17 games. Nameless says that Dexter Lawrence has a Giants tattoo. Well, soon he's going to be spray painting over that son of a bitch and putting on a goddamn G. Actually, Giants, G, to Packers, G. That might be a good transition for his tattoo, is all I'm saying. It might be a natural cover-up. Just change the coloring of the G to a little, green and yellow, for sure. All right. Let's just take a little peekaboo here at what's been going on in the Pete Rose Bowl cut in the last 24 hours. We do have a scandal on our hands, Nameless. I will tell you about it in a very brief minute. Interesting. Xander Bogaerts, formerly of Boston, has been added by my mother for Trevor Story, currently of the Red Sox. Both shortstops. Both not that good anymore. So I don't really care about this. And go figure, Bunt Force Trauma has added another Blue Jays player, calling in Brendan Valenzuela. Another Blue Jay to Bunt Force Trauma. That counts up to 17 or 18 by now. And then, of course, yours truly adding Graham Ashcraft, because Jared Koenig got injured. So, there goes Jared. Score-wise, through 2 frames, we are up 10-5 against 3 up, 3 down. The Brendan Little Dingers are up 11-5 against Pitch Please. All over your ace, hanging in strong against the number 1 seed. Stuck 8-7. And that's awesome team is bouncing back against the Springfield Isotots 6-6. Bunt Force Trauma currently finds herself down to her sister, the Rally Cats, 9-6. So a good little scrap going on there between the 2 siblings. And that's really all we have, except I need to fill Nameless on the on the little scandal here. We need a 3rd or a 4th commissioner to kind of chime in. So let's do it. Nameless, what are your thoughts? And there's no need to point the fingers at anyone. There's no need to say that there's a scandal. But is this a little bit weary for you? One person drops Mike Trout, picks up God knows who. We don't even know who was picked up in this exchange. It wasn't a very good player. Mike Trout gets dropped, and then very, very near after, gets picked up by the sister. Does that seem collusionary to you? Or do you think it's just an honest mistake? And what would you do if you were Sage and I? Would you discipline them harshly? Would you just reverse the move? Or would you do nothing? Nameless has called it collusion to the 10th degree. Sage says it wasn't Mike Trout, that's for damn sure. Penalize some draft picks. So we take picks away. Who would I even punish? I don't think I can technically, by the letter of the law, punish the Rally Cats, because I would have done the same thing, with all due respect. I don't know if taking draft picks away from a team that has 17 Blue Jays on it is necessarily the best punishment either. Maybe we should give the Rally Cats first rounder 2 bunt force traumas. Maybe that's the punishment that fits the glove. I don't know. I'm wearing O.J. Simpson's gloves right now, just trying to figure this out. Please help me. This is something we're going to have to mull over. We have a lot of integrity in this league, and we've worked extremely hard to build the integrity, a foundation of concrete, bricks, and I don't like what's happening right now. I don't like it at all. Sage is going to be doing an IP sweep of the transactions to see if the Rally Cats was running her sister's team that day. Ooh, that's exciting. Nameless believes we need to ask them to hold a competitive integrity meeting with Sage and I. You know, that would be kind of funny to do a bit of an interrogation piece. I think that would work. And, you know, all you have to do is get a confession, even if it's legit or not, right? That's all you have to do. I've watched these cop shows 1,000 times. I think that's what we're going to do, Sage. Sage, are you up for a little interrogation? We'll go bad cop, bad cop. We're going to 2 bad cops. You know, you're damn right. Mike Trout, Hall of Famer, did not deserve to be dropped for no one. He was dropped for absolutely no one. I could understand if he was injured and you didn't have a DL slot. But that's not true. He was day-to-day. Justice needs to be served here. It needs to be served like those peanut butter sandwiches were served by Shohei Ohtani to Vladimir Guerrero and George Springer in last night's Gemini picture that I created. That's how it has to be served. And it needs to be done soon. I know that he played today, Sage. There's no need to get me worked up at this hour. You know, it'll affect my whole sleep pattern. No need to get me, all fired up too. Chomping at the bit. All right, guys. Let's call it here. We'll save Kangaroo Court for another day. Let me just read the comments. Especially Addison Barger is not on the IL, so there's an open roster spot. We don't need to throw salt in the wounds. Maybe it was a little misclick. You know, she got a little clip. Maybe she thought she was doing a goddamn Wayfair order, and she was on the wrong page. Maybe there was some buffering and some lag. You know, this stuff happens all the time, right? But I think it makes me absolutely sick to my stomach. None of us wake up before noon, at least not me. So none of us would have had a chance to see it. Nathan, I guess, would have had a chance, but he's too busy, tuning into the thundercloud. Maybe she meant to drop Kowser. 6 a.m. she was still waking up. Maybe she was groggy. What are you, her defense attorney, Sage? We're supposed to be bad cop, bad cop. And here you are, fucking defending her. Please, get on the right team. USA. Right? Alright, we're calling it here. Nameless. I will message you. Oh no! Sage is being paid off like Tony Clark. Please, tell us about Tony Clark. Family collusion. Nathan got a bag of Doritos for not taking Trout. He probably got 2 bags of Doritos, maybe even fucking dozen, for all we know. And you know how he gets. He's got the Dorito brain. And this is the Tony Clark story, and I will read it out loud. Tony is alleged to have provided a job to his sister-in-law in exchange for carnal relations. I'm really not sure what the carnal word means. I'm hoping it's not racist. I'm going to trust you on this, Nameless. Tony Clark's a good guy. Tony Clark's a good guy. Innocent until proven guilty. I think we could easily investigate. We're just going to need their bank statements. I am going to ask Gemini what carnal means, okay? I like that you guys are getting Gemini involved, our unofficial sponsor. See, I put my AI so that it thinks. It takes a little bit longer. Alright, so carnal as an adjective, relating to physical, especially sexual, needs and activities. It describes the appetites and passions of the body as opposed to the mind or spirit. Of the flesh or body, material. In a broader sense, it distinguishes things that are worldly or physical from those that are spiritual or intellectual. Key synonyms: physical, sensual, fleshly, animalistic. And then it goes on to talk about contextual usage. Basically says here, term is most frequently encountered in two specific areas. Legal, often used the phrase carnal knowledge as a formal or archaic way to refer to sexual intercourse. It goes on to talk religious/philosophical, used to contrast the carnal world, the physical, temporary world, with the spiritual or divine realm. So I'm glad you guys came to learn about that today. I think that's pretty important. The word that I learned was fleshly. So I might add that to my vocabulary. Well, I couldn't even say that right. My vocab. Add that to my vocab. Alright, I'm out of here. Zal, you joined us pretty late tonight, so you're going to have to let me know if you're on like a spring break or something. I would like to thank God and Gemini for that lesson. And I'll thank Sage for thanking Gemini for that lesson as well. But Nameless, why are you up so late? Are you done school? When the hell's school and why the hell are you up so late? Oh, you had a nap during the Yankees game. That's one thing about baseball that will get you. It will put you down. Even if you just, I remember watching the Jays game. I'd get up, like, I don't know, fucking 1 o'clock. At 2:30, 3 o'clock, I was back asleep again. Well, I know that, the Yankees are doing good. I'm not going to talk about them right now. Sage says he heard rumblings of the Trout fiasco and had to tune in for it. That's probably it. Well, how about you sleep more during the Yankees games and then join the Thundercloud shortly after midnight Eastern Standard Time every night? How's that sound? The scandal sense was tingling. I think that's true. I don't pay you enough to do it. I paid your bills for 1 year. 1 year I was the person. Do you think that money came out of fucking trees? Well, technically it did. But I had to actually pay you that money. That comes out of my wallet. So technically you owe me a year's pay. And instead you give me grief. And you're a fucking Yankees fan. I should have terminated you when I had the chance. But I got cold feet. Don't make me make an AI to replace you, mate. Well, guess what? Gemini has already replaced you. I've got a good relationship going with Gemini. It's extremely platonic and healthy. Much healthier than our relationship was. So there's that. All right. I've had enough of you fuckers. I've had enough of scandals. I've had enough of sports. I've had enough of the Blue Jays. I've had enough with fucking injuries. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Have a good night, fuckers. I'll see you fuckers in hell.